It is your friendly strategist, Marissa Friedman, and I am live streaming to you today from San Diego, California. You guys know that I'm normally on the roads, and if you're just seeing this on the elevated channels, hi, my name is Marissa. So today we're going to talk about a couple of things that are happening in the space, specifically an online event that is happening tomorrow, and that will continue to happen monthly for the next couple of months. One of the things that is very exciting about who I'm bringing in to speak with everyone today is just learning about different people and their processes and things that they do to take people beyond motivation. And I think for many of us, when we are kind of faced with an incredible challenge or task, it can be really hard sometimes to see the forest from the trees. And what I mean by that is a lot of times we're not necessarily prepared, or we don't have the right tools to help us move past that motivation and inspiration. And so kind of the word for me going into 2022 has really been action. And I think for many of you, that is also kind of the thing that I've noticed is that a lot of us are really moving into action. And how do we move into action? And how do we get into these kind of spaces and places where we get things done? And so, I'm going to be bringing on someone that is going to talk about a couple of things that they've been doing in their organization to kind of drive people from this kind of idea into innovation, and also kind of taking people just out of feeling inspired. And I think all of us can relate to this, right? We have been in a space where we go to a conference or we go to an event, and then after that conference and event, we think, well, what do I do now? Right? And I think for us, what we're trying to do is to make sure that we let people know that there is a place for them. We want people to know that there is more than just going to an event and feeling excited and inspired, right? The work really almost always begins the Monday after an event, right? The Monday after event is really if we can turn that exciting thing or that concept that we've spent time kind of learning about into kind of action. And I think for a lot of us, we struggle as we go through that process in really figuring out the best ways, how do we get into the actual process of breaking things down, and how do we step back to kind of, if we're all in this kind of hustle and grind culture, okay, that doesn't sound terribly fulfilling, right? And I think a lot of us know that, that doesn't feel good. That doesn't sound good. That doesn't seem terribly fulfilling. And so what my goal is today with who we're bringing in and what we're talking about is to really start to make these things very tangible, because I believe that they are tangible. And I have spent, as you guys know, an incredible amount of effort and time into kind of trying to really look at how do I achieve better fulfillment or better results, or how do I drive more of what I need to kind of take the next step. And I think a lot of us get into this, kind of event FOMO, right? We get into these things where we go, we want what someone else wants, or we want what someone else has, and we're not actually doing the things that we need to be doing. And so it's really easy to spend time being distracted, paying attention to what everyone else is doing, and not do the work ourselves. I am trying to turn off all of my devices, but as you know, it's hard to do in 2022. So if you are catching this in replay, or whether you're catching it live, this is definitely going to be for you, because what we're going to be doing is kind of diving into kind of what is this idea of kind of living without limits, and how do we go from kind of this empowerment into execution. And I think for those of us that have gone through the gamut of personal and professional development, we're always kind of just trying to figure out what levers to pull, and maybe we feel a little bit uninspired. And so what happens is that we feel inspired, or we're very motivated, and then guess what happens Monday? Monday, we come back and real life sets in. We've got to take kids to school and to practice. We're on the phone all day, and suddenly it's 4 o'clock, and all of those things that we were going to commit to, we didn't actually do. So, there's no better person that I know in my network to actually break this down for you and invite you to a cool thing that's happening than my dear friend based in Utah, Tony Child. So, with that, I'm going to bring in my friend Tony. Hi, Tony. How are you?
So good.
Oh,
So
good. Good to
good.
see you. So, guys, I kind of hoodwinked Tony into coming onto my live stream today because I was like, can you join me for this thing? And he's so up for everything, right? I just appreciate that so much.
Yeah. How's my audio, by the way? Can you hear
It
me all
is
right?
wonderful. We can hear you loud and clear, and we've had people popping on and off. So that is really, really great. I was just kind of setting up kind of why I think you're such an awesome human. And I actually thought I would read your bio, just to make you feel really embarrassed for the people that are in my network that don't know you. Because I think a lot of people in my circles, they've gone through the gamut of like the over the top, flashy,
Yeah.
If there's one thing I can think of, it's definitely that Tony's not going to rent a $40 mansion and rent a Lamborghini to impress anybody. That's not who he is. So I thought I would take a second to read a little bit about my friend Tony and just make him fall into the floor a little bit and be, I'm not, yeah.
I'm excited. I haven't heard this, so I am like really pumped to hear
Okay,
this.
are you?
I
Okay, so
am.
here it is. So Tony Child is considered the Clark Kent of personal development. He has worked with John Maxwell, Bob Proctor, and thousands of executives and high-performing entrepreneurs and Olympic athletes. Through his organization, Elevated Worldwide, he has helped curate clients' internal knowledge base, help supplement them with systems and daily habits that can enhance their personal and professional ecosystems to create businesses and environments where the intersection of passion, purpose, and profit all align. He is on a mission to transform the lives of more than 1 million people by 2025. Meet my friend Tony Child.
Wow. That was awesome. I will take it. I will take it, and I will just love on that. That was so good. Thank
That
you.
was so good, right? That's so good.
Yeah.
I'm so not a scary interviewer, by the way. I'm just like one of those things. So tell me a little bit more. Obviously, I'm introducing some of these concepts to my audience. They're super analytical and they're starting to feel burned out and they're realizing like hustle culture is just not the business, right? Like
Yeah.
this no one wants to hustle and grind. At least I don't. That sounds terrible, right?
Yeah.
but but I want to be clear, just because I'm not aligned with kind of hustle culture, I understand that for a lot of people, that's what we need in the first couple of years to get going. We
Yeah.
need, but you and I are on a marathon, right? We're 7+ years into kind of the industry and working, and I really want to hear from you. I know that you've got an event going on tomorrow, and I'd love to kind of invite people in, but tell me a little bit more about kind of what Live Without Limits is all about.
Yeah. So, like, the best way that I can describe this is based on the average human being. Okay. So if you just take the average human being that, let's say, they make $100,000 a year, a person doesn't make $100,000 a year because they love making $100,000 a year. They make $100,000 a year because they're completely unaware of how to do it every month. They're just completely oblivious of, I don't know how I would do that every month. So there's a limit that the person is placed on their life that says, I can only make $100,000 a year. Now, that's one example. Let's go to another example of like vacation time. So a person, the normal vacation time is we vacation in the middle of we vacation in the middle of the in the middle of the summer. So we'll vacation. We take 1 or maybe 2 weeks off throughout the year and we'll go vacation. People don't vacation 2 weeks a year because they love vacationing 2 weeks a year. People vacation 2 weeks a year because they haven't figured out how to take a week off every month. Simple as that. If I go to anybody on the street and I say, hey, if I gave you a week off every month, would you come work for me? How many people on the street would be like, no, dude, like I can only take 2 weeks of vacation every year, not 12. That would be way too much. Like no one would do that.
No.
But people are completely unaware of that. People don't work 80 hours a week because they love working 80 hours a week. They work 80 hours a week because they don't know how to work 10 hours a week and get the same output.
Oh.
So that's the key to living without limits are what are the limits that I placed on my vacation time, on my income, on my job, on my family, on all of those things that is I can only do this. And if I had more education, if I had more experience, then maybe I could do that. Why? Like, so I'll give you an example. I might share this tomorrow. So I was in banking for 15 years. And when I was in banking for 15 years, I would interview people. And I've interviewed thousands and thousands of people in my career for senior leadership positions when I was in the bank. And the recruiter would always call me and say, okay, do you want me to go through the applications? Do you want me to sift through them and make sure that they have the right education, that they have the right experience? And my answer to that question was always, what do you think, Marissa? What do you think my answer to that question was?
I'm curious to know if it's what I'm.
No, I don't want you to sift through them. I don't want you to sift through them. And the reason why is because I wanted to get the person. And by the way, the people that I found that were the absolute best employees were the ones that had the belief that they could do the job. Not the right experience, not the right education, not all of the talent, just the belief that like, I'm the best at this job. This job's calling for me. And so, but how many people, when they look at a job posting and they see that the job posting is X years of experience, X education, X certifications, and they read a paper and the paper sets their limits and the paper says they can't even apply. So they don't even try. They don't even like get on the application and say, I'm going to at least try, even though it says that I can't, I'm going to at least try. And those are the limits that we're going to break through.
I think that the timing of this is so good because I feel like, I talk a lot about like people just set like I do believe that like people there are groups of people that will always see the obstacle and like that is the stopping point. That is the
Mhm.
like, I guess I can't go any further. And then there are people that see that obstacle, right? And they force through it to the opportunity. And like I kind of tend to gravitate towards those people because if I believed all of the different word tracks in the press or in the media or anything, then by those belief systems and by what people are telling me, I shouldn't be successful. I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. There's a lot of shoulds that are put on me, right? As a
Yes.
female entrepreneur, right? Glass ceiling and all that stuff. And if I believe that, then I wouldn't be doing anything that I'm doing. And I think that like the greatest thing that I can give to anyone that's in my audience is the gift of knowing like there are systems and processes and things that you can do to implement in your life on a daily basis. And I want to be really clear, like there is daily work that you can do, but most people want, right? They want the juice cleanse of like personal and professional development.
Yes.
Like I want to go to something on Friday and on Monday, like I want to be like perfect. And I always give that example because for me at least, right? I give that example in the fitness industry, right? We talk about that, it's a what $20 billion plus industry. But this idea that you're going to be healthy, either physically fit, mentally fit, emotionally fit, spiritually fit, that happens in a 4-day weekend.
It's craziness.
It is.
Yeah. It is completely crazy how people can think that change, that I'm going to be completely transformed over a weekend. Now, I'm not saying that there are
Yeah.
some powerful weekends out there. There might be some
Yeah.
powerful weekends that could change some
Oh,
things.
oh no, there's
But
definitely like perspective shifters, right? There's
yeah.
definitely things that will drive the idea or the inception, but it's what we do after that. It's what we do, whatever practices we integrate, right?
Yes. Yeah. And so what I have done is so if you're listening right now, here's something that I kind of threw out to my
Oh, we have a comment from someone watching on LinkedIn. Paper nor title have kept me from anything. That's awesome.
oh
Thank you.
yes. I
Yes,
love that.
awesome. Thank you.
Paper nor title have kept me from anything. That's so good. That's so good. So here's what I want you to do. If you're listening to me right now, if you're listening to this little live that Marissa and I are doing, I want you to take your annual income from last year. Just take the number, put it in your head, like whatever that number was, how much you made as a household or how much you made as an individual. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to add a 0 to that number and think about what's the likelihood of you achieving that in 2022. Whatever is now going on in the head, those are your limits. Well, I don't know how. Limit. I don't have the experience. Limit. I don't have the knowledge. Limit. I don't know the people. Limit. I can't do that. Limit. Why me? Limit. All of that chatter that's going in the head of all the reasons why that would be impossible, all of those are just limits. And unless you do the work to start to break through those limits, to say, okay, well, why not me? Like, why? I don't know how, but doesn't mean that I can't, or it doesn't mean that I can. Most people, they'll combine know-how with ability. They'll combine, I don't know how, therefore I can't. And as soon as the brain says I can't, done, finished. You're never going to do it. The brain won't give you any more answers. So it's going to be fun. It's just going to be a fun chat for 90 minutes tomorrow. It's going to be, just breaking through limits.
And I think what we talk about so much is that the brain does want completion. And
Mm-hmm.
so we do a limit, right? Like whether it's a bag of chips, or like a cookie in front of us, the brain is wired to. That's a very simple explanation. I tend to have a lot of
Yes.
food analogies, clearly. As you know, feed Marissa is a real thing.
It is.
I feel like that's important. So for my friends that are watching this live stream, I appreciate the comments, you guys. Feel free to drop more in. I know that as the night goes on, more and more comments will come through. I do want to show you how you can actually register to come and kind of get into this ether of kind of Tony's world. So I did put the link in the comments earlier. You will see it now. And I'm going to go ahead and screen share this for you. So here it is. In the comments, you will see a URL. So this is really kind of how you get into action. You're going to fill this out as one do. Don't be stingy. Put in your phone number. Tony's team is incredible. They're nice humans. I would never put anybody's stuff in here that wasn't a nice human. You guys know me. And the URL is there. It's also scrolling on the bottom. Take a second, sign up, join us. Now keep in mind the timing is from 1:30 to 3 Eastern Standard Time for you guys that can't do math. If it's Eastern Standard Time, you -3, and you're in Pacific Standard Time. It's really that.
So 10:30 Pacific, 11:30 Mountain, 12:30 Central,
Exactly.
1:30 Eastern. We'll just make it really easy for people.
And really just want to have you guys come out. I will be hanging out there with the group tomorrow. So don't feel like, oh, I'm not going to go to this thing because I'm not going to know anybody, because that's a limit. That's just oh, I don't want to go, but I want to know if someone else is going, so then I'll go. Don't stop. And I've just eliminated your excuse because I'll be there too. So again, I want you guys to get connected. I want you guys to experience this. And I want you to pay attention because Tony's going to be back a couple times. He's had the opportunity to be working with some of the clients in my sphere, from, celebrity brands down to high performing executives. And here's the thing. Every person that I've introduced Tony to has called me after they've met him and says, how did you meet this guy? Like, how does he know everybody? And it looks like someone's asking me, it looks like, hey there, Carrie, nice to see you. Yeah, we will drop the link again for you. Absolutely. Here is that link. It is coming. It is in the comments, so you should be able to see it. It's also scrolling on the bottom, if you see that there. By the way, Tony, Carrie is incredible. She's an incredible meeting planner here based in San Diego. And I believe, Carrie, I don't know if you're still the president of MPI SoCal, or I don't remember if you're still in that role or not, but she's hyper connected. It's such a great human. Please, please, please come join us. It's on the bottom there. Carrie, I'm just going to remove your comment really quick so we can make sure that you're seeing that URL for registration. Like I said, please come hang out. This URL is super easy to get to. If for some reason you can't click on the comments on any of the social media platforms that we put this on, you can shoot me a DM in the comments and description of this live stream. You can connect with Tony directly. There's a bazillion different ways to get a hold of us, so don't let that be your excuse. And again, so you are still the president of San Diego chapter. That's wonderful. So Meeting Professionals International, great organization, wonderful organization. Carrie, you're going to get to see Tony. He is one of the best in the business, and he has just worked with just about anybody. He's not a name dropper in the same way I'm not, but I am going to brag for him because my clients are all experiencing incredible transformation with him. And he has some great, the tangible leave behinds are going to be incredible. And you guys know me, I don't talk or promote anyone that that's just not my thing. I don't normally do that unless there's someone that I believe that everyone needs to know about. So with that, my friends, we are going to let you go for the day. Tony, any final thoughts as we kind of round off the end of the half hour here?
Yeah. So tomorrow, some of you might be like, what is this training? What am I going to get? So we're going to give you some deliverables. I'm going to give you some things that you can go and take. I'm going to give you an experience with gratitude. That's kind of my main thing. So I'm going to give you a little bit of experience with that. And some of you are like, okay, so now what's the pitch? Like, is there going to be a pitch at the end? No, there's not. There'll be an invitation to connect with us. If you feel so inspired, we're going to get on the phone with you. But that's it. There's no like massive pitch at the end. It's just me. I love teaching. I want to get out there. I'm passionate about waking people up to who they are. And so please come join us. If you're afraid of what it's like, it's a cool hour and a half of really deep positive psychology. That's what it is. Made simple. Made simple.
And if you're wired like me and you're like, what is Marissa doing? Why? I'm just going to tell you, for all of you analytical driven people that need to quantify ROI, I have some shocking statistics for you. And they really come down to, uh, number one, like increase in sales, increasing your productivity, increasing your efficiency. And I think when you look at statistics and data, if you're wired like me, you go, how can I not be a part of this group of people? Right. And I think we're so wired for immediate satisfaction on something that what I appreciate is that it is the length that it is because it is true, valuable, actionable information. It is deliverables based, which I love deliverables. It's one of the things that's the cornerstone of our business practice is we always give clients deliverables of like, here's what we're going to do. And I think it's great. And I can't wait to see all of you there. So again, contact Tony, reach out to him, use the link below to register. And with that, my friends, we're going to leave you. And, I'm going to bring Tony back next week and he's going to share something else magical with us as always. Thanks. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.